Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the closing session of the course that we were doing together, Getting Online as a Teacherpreneur for EVO 2020. And here are the certificates available to you. So, for getting a certificate, you will have to have the badge for week 5. So after you've completed all the activities all throughout the weeks, and finally, when you finish off the activities for week 5, you will be eligible to get the certificate of participation. And there are 2 surveys. Please take out time to fill in both the surveys, because the first survey is from the EVO team itself, and that is basically a feedback and a survey for the course that you just we did. And the second survey is the course conclusion survey, and this is for my understanding of your expectations or your feedback on the course. So I would request you to please take out time for completing both the surveys. Now, one thing that I really want to talk about is the quiz that we have created in JavaScript. All the code that we have written in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, that was only for practice, only for understanding how the code works in the background. So whenever you will properly work with some application or some website wherein you have the facility to create quizzes and interactive activities, most of them are based on HTML5 and JavaScript. So whatever we have learned during this session, that would give you an understanding of how the things are working in the background. You will not be able to use it on your website, or even if you upload it as a Google Doc. Why? Because as I shared it in the previous session, in the second live session for week 5, that these files are stationary onto your system locally, which is available offline. You can access them even without the internet connection on your system. Okay. Now, when you share these files, these are static files. So when you share these files with me or with anybody else, we can only access them as in first hand, just like you are accessing it on your system. Now that you have sent it to me, I will download it and access it on my system. So that is an individual file onto my system now. We are nowhere connected. Okay. So whatever data that we were storing in variables and using them to display in messages, that was again being stored locally onto your system in the hard disk or in the RAM for the time being when the program was getting executed. They are not getting stored in any specific database. If you really think about it, then do you realize that if 2 people take the same quiz, what will happen to the data of the first participant? Like there are 2 participants who've taken your quiz. The data of the first participant and then the data of the second participant. It will be overwritten. Okay. Sorry. Um, it will be overwritten, Carol. That's right. But how do you think? I mean, you have shared your file with me and you have shared your file with Ella. Okay. Now, both of us are taking the quiz. Me, I am taking it at my end. Ella is taking it at her end. Now, what will happen to my data of what the result of my quiz is, and what will happen to the data of the quiz that Ella is taking at her system? It goes to a database. But while writing the code, did we create any database or did we connect to any database? No. So the data is not actually getting stored anywhere. It will not overwrite. Exactly. It is not saved. The data is absolutely. The data is getting stored onto your RAM while the program is executing. So the data of the quiz that I am taking will be stored onto my system. Nobody else will be able to access it. Not even Carol, who's created and shared the file with me. Not even Ella, who is simultaneously taking the quiz at her end, because she has her own copy of the program. I have my own copy of the program. So we are nowhere connected. Therefore, the data is not getting stored anywhere. The data would have been stored onto a database if we would have connected these programs onto some database. Okay. Therefore, these files, these quizzes were only for practice for coding in JavaScript and HTML and CSS. You will not be able to use them with your students onto your website. Now, we come to H5P. H5P is basically an application-based website or an application that has been created, which is basically created in HTML file, and it helps you to create interactive activities without coding. So you don't have to write any code. You only have to use an interface, just like you used WordPress.com, the WordPress dashboard, to create your website pages wherein you had the editor and all. Similarly, here you will have an interface to create the interactive activities. Now, there are two things to it, h5p.org and h5p.com. What is an org? H5p.org will provide you with a plugin that you can integrate on your website. Okay. And then you can create activities on your website itself using H5P interface. When we talk about h5p.com, because under the free plan, you will not be able to integrate any plugin. So h5p.com is the option that we have. Here, you can host the content onto their platform and use the link on your website. So you will be creating the activities on h5p.com, and then the link you can share on your website for those activities. Okay. And there's a big congratulations to all of you for successfully completing the course. I am going to share about H5P a little more. Here it is. This is h5p.org, wherein you can register, and then you can integrate it on these platforms. Okay, so any of these platforms, if you are using WordPress, Drupal, Moodle, Blackboard, Canvas, so you can integrate H5P onto any of these platforms. Now, what is h5p.com? Here is my account that I had. Now, what h5p.com has is that it gives you a free plan for 30 days. And you can create your account, try creating some activities. I will just share it with you. For example, you go to add content. Here you have an option of what kind of content do you want to create. Now there is a quiz, a presentation, dialogue cards, drop downs, fill in the blanks, and a host of other activities that you can create. Quiz. Okay. So let's suppose I have a true and false question. Here you write the title. You give the question. What is the correct answer? Then you have the behavior setting. You want to add any of the buttons for retry or show solution. These will be available to check. And then the feedback for the correct and the wrong answer. And then you have these options. So I will not go through all of them. You can only, I will just go through the essential ones, because every activity will have different options, but these are the basic ones that you would need. So then you have the folder. You will select the folder where you want it to be. You are given one folder by default when you create the account. Then you go to publish, and then you have these options. Okay, now you make it public, and under the sharing, then you will have to select the folder and save. Okay, now when you go to manage content, here you can see that this activity has been added. When you click on this, you click on sharing. Okay. publish. Here is a link. When you go to publish, then you will see the link. This is the link that you can copy. And then you can add this link onto your website. This is my website. So go to the home page. And I will add this link for the activity, just like you would add any of the other links for any other document. And create the link, update. Now when I will visit my website, here it is. The link is available. And when you click on this link, I will just log out. Now when you will click on this link, you can see the activity that will be available to the learner on your website. Okay, so you can just see the activity, check. Okay, and then when you will go back to your H5P account, you will see that somebody has taken this activity, and you can trace back to who has done it and what was the result of their activity. Okay, so Carol, you want to know if you have tools within the Canvas and Blackboard. H5P is more user friendly, and H5P gives you a variety of options available. You know, there are a variety of activities that are available to you, which you can use. And secondly, you can integrate this with an LMS. That is a learning management system. If you are talking about Canvas or Blackboard, these are all LMS, and even Moodle is an LMS. So what will happen is when you will integrate H5P activities onto Moodle or any other LMS, then you will be able to track the learner activity, the learner's track onto these activities that you are creating through the LMS itself. H5P.com is paid after trial. Yes, it is only a trial period for 30 days. After that, it is a paid tool. And Ruth, you want to know who can see the answers? The answers will be shown only to the author. That is you who is creating the question, who is posting the link. So from your account, when you are creating the questions or the activities and you are sharing them onto your website, so the learners will be able to see the questions. They will answer the question, and once the question is answered, it will be saved onto your account, who all have taken the questions or who all have attended the activity, and you will be able to see the learners' results, who all have taken and who all have cleared the activity or not. So any other question? Thanks. Now, before we wind up, I really have to thank, first of all, I have to thank Dr. Nelly, because she has been my mentor and she has given me ample opportunities to share my very little knowledge that I have about teaching online. And I am grateful to her, and I am actually thankful to her for giving me all the opportunities. And I thank you all for making this session successful, because just like most of you are skeptical of learning coding, being language teachers, uh, I myself initially used to feel that I don't know how would you take it as, because learning coding I know is a slight learning curve, but um, I am so thankful to all of you for creating, making it a success. And this is the second year that I have hosted this session. And thank you, everyone, for actively participating. And you've been motivating me to go on and on. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. If you want to say something, because this is like the ending, and I have been feeling a little low also, because maybe till next year we are there. Oh, thank you so much. And I hope to stay in touch with you all. So if you are on Facebook and if you have not joined the group, please do join the group on Facebook. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you.